Sponsorship video. Oh. Why, hello to you all my fellow nerds. This is Archer coming at you from my living room, studio, thing. I am also here to talk about a brand new blaster from a company that seems to be getting a pretty fair start within our hobby. Our most recent Women of Nerf member reached out to me in expressing interest towards a review of their latest blaster. They're very big within the airsoft community, and now seeing the traction that's coming within the Nerf foam fleeing goodness community, wanted to design a blaster that catered to our needs. Yes. Let's get right to it. We're going to talk about, folks, the Game Face Prime. It is a blaster very similar to the Sita blaster. This barrel here is rather large, which is kind of nice because it gives that Scar barrel resemblance. I know I'm committing treason right now. When you buy the blaster, it comes partially disassembled, and with one of the components that's disassembled is the barrel and the rod itself. You have your O-rings on the end here in the back, right just by the screw. And then you have your other O-ring centered here just below the ZRO insignia. When you're done clearing your jam, or when you're done clearing out your blaster, all you gotta do is slip that puppy in there, and then you just screw it on back in. I'm not entirely sure what these ridges are doing for aesthetic. It's not going anywhere, at least for my small hands. Prime it back. And if you'll notice, the prime is really smooth. I pulled that back with almost no effort. Like the DZP is run through these two screws in the back that pull back your priming bar until when you release it forward and you're ready to take your shot. Unfortunately, this might be my first blaster that doesn't operate off of Talon mags. Bummer. Fortunately, I happen to have this extra mag lying around, so we are going to be using this 12 count here. So, pulled the prime back, make sure it's ready to go. This blaster does have a short dart mag adapter. You can use this for full darts, though honestly this is a competitive grade blaster just by build alone, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave this adapter inside. Real quick, what makes this not Talon compatible is these random gaps that are finger friendly. You got a bunch of sad Gen Worker 3s here. And that is why. We're gonna put it with the mag that actually does fit. Slide that puppy in there. Makes that satisfying click. You shake it around, shake and bake. Prime back this blaster, prime it forward. It's just as smooth as when I prime the blaster itself. And we're gonna do a quick firing demo. A flaw that I often run into when it comes to competitive blasters or springers in general is that I don't have as much upper body strength to pull back. It just has a very smooth prime, and I find that to be something that's super comfortable for me and something that I can count on. You can tell that this blaster was made with a lot of care, and you can tell that they put a lot of hard work into the functionality of the blaster itself. I have a good feeling that this company wants to get to know this community more. They want to understand it better. They want to cater to the people better, which is super awesome getting to see all these companies reach out to us, the hobbyists, the creators of this world, and work towards making our hobby better. Watch something. You're gonna watch something cool. You ready? Oh, damn. So this is your takedown, guys. This is your first half. You're not gonna need that. Gonna chuck that way over there. This is how you get into the internals. You get into your sled, get into your lube, plunger tube itself that comes with its own hazard label. Very nice, very efficient, if people didn't figure out this wasn't a toy already. Now, even though I'm the last person when it comes to on-the-field repairs, I felt like this was something that was super easy to take down. The takedown is actually rather impressive. For my Talon Claw, I feel like I'm putting more work in taking out the pins than anything that I did 30 seconds ago. On the back here, you'll notice you have your sling attachment point, which is a nice little nod. Oh, look, it fits my eyeball. I know quite a few people who really like their slings. It's very sturdy. Your blaster's not going anywhere with the way that this is built. Something that I don't really agree with this stock is how it stays with the blaster despite you changing it to different lengths. What I would do, honestly, is just get rid of this end piece here, whatever is stopping the stock from coming out completely. It's easier for modding, and it's much less annoying than trying to go like this for 5 minutes. Now I'm gonna go and put the blaster back together. This is one big happy family. If you notice, you have your little divots in here and your divots in here, and they line up like a nice Swiss sandwich. Slap that in there, and look at that. Your screws are all lined up here. Your pins are all lined up here and here, and then you're able to prime the back and put it back for business. It's kind of nice. And that's totally pretty much it of my review, guys. Right? Game Face Prime is great. It has a really good takedown. That's great. The barrel is great. The mags that I'm not totally familiar with but are totally decent and could be alright for kick-ass gameplay is great. And it doesn't compete with the Nexus Pro at all. That may or may not also be great. It works really well for multiple different types of magazines. So the Talon mags, it works really well. With katanas, this is totally not a katana, but we're gonna pretend like it is. It works really well. It works with full mags. It works really well. It's super light, and it doesn't give a whole lot of challenge when it comes to the different ammo types that you use. Another thing of this blaster too is that it's very light. The grip is just very comfortable for my hand. I'm not sure if it's because of the divot that it's got up here that's more realistic to my hand, or just in the angle and how it's molded. But it's super comfortable for me. It's super light. I know weight for me is very important, and it works to what I'm trying to get out of a blaster. This, I lost the screw forever ago. So all I gotta do is just turn it, and then my spring completely pops right out, and then I'm already modifying my blaster. So it's really easy and really accessible for the spring component. And you could just slap this back on, makes it nice and secure, and it's ready to go. Now the biggest caveat that I would say of this blaster is the prime itself. If you'll notice, if I just push this back ever so slightly, you got a whole bunch of dead space going on here. It's not bad. It still delivers some pretty mean performance, but it does create quite a bit of issues when it comes to my prime. Now, depending on the type of situation I'm in, I will prime rather quickly. So if I'm priming really quick, number one, I have to really commit to the prime through both of my shoulders, so that's kind of not something completely natural to me. And also, when I pull it back, the prime is made of plastic, you know, all plastic blaster. And so I have to commit that much harder to something that may or may not break on me in the future. So every time I prime back, it does carry a bit of a risk. Now, what would I say in comparison of the two? The Nexus Pro is really good within a PvP setting. The priming bar going back is pretty cumbersome. It actually puts wear on my shoulder, so it's not exactly the most reliable for me. But it's definitely not a bad blaster, and for the $50 price tag that it is, it really changed the game for our hobby. So it's definitely lightweight and definitely worth considering. However, what do I think of the Game Face Prime? I think this is something that has a lot of a potential. I know that the key rings here make it pretty loud and pretty cumbersome. However, the feel that I get from this Prime is really and truly satisfying. I know it does need a couple of tweaks here and there. Right now, it's a current prototype for their new line. However, it definitely has its purpose. I want to work with it more in the future. It also kind of gives me a reason to buy Katana Mag. You can tell there was a lot of work put into this blaster and that they really care. I have a lot of faith and I have a lot of confidence in them, and I do think that this blaster was a joy to try out. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, GameFace, for reaching out to me and sponsoring this video. And yeah, if any of you would like to see any more comparison videos, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. And I have a lot of hopes for this organization. I really hope that they're able to reach out to more Nerf YouTubers, to folks within the community, in helping towards making these new blasters and this new community news better. I'm sure we will meet in the very near future when the world is totally not obliterated and on fire with itself. But until that time, this is Archer, reminding you to stay classy, stay awesome, stay hydrated, because Lord knows I've been talking for far too long. And I will see you in the next video. Take it easy and stay safe.